Eden Zero Chapter 208 has been released, and I have to say this is another pretty good chapter, and it sets things up for what I assume could be the finale of the arc in the coming chapters, as now it feels like things are starting to wrap up, and we're heading into the real climax of this story arc. But I'm not going to get too into it right now, as I'm going to get into that with the initial review. So let's hit that intro and get right into Chapter 208 of Eden Zero. Chapter 208 of Eden Zero, titled Dead End. Okay, I gotta say this, Mashima, I feel like I really do think you give Homura a lot of love, and I appreciate it. Really nice cover art of Laguna literally helping Homura find like some nice clothing. Really nice, very cute. I like these types of moments. I want to see more slice of life moments in the actual manga with the Eden Zero crew. I like it. But these cover images are honestly really nice and awesome too. Anyway, we start off from the inside of Dead End Crow, with Jin fighting off the Crowbots, as he realizes that his ether gear is back, and that Laguna managed to keep his promise to find Clean. As he states, "I owe you one, Laguna." We're back on the inside of Laguna's ship, as Clean is wondering what's up with Holy and her brother, as Laguna states that they're still inside, and they're kind of cramped into Laguna's single-person cockpit. That's honestly kind of a funny scene. It is kind of funny, I have to admit. But anyway, we go back to the Eden Zero facing off against Crow, and every panel that Dead End Crow's like giant titan robot self is on screen, it just feels more and more menacing, and that's something I really like. Crow's titan design is not like super overly designed, it's relatively simplistic in how it looks, but it's just very terrifying and gives a sense of dread that I really appreciate. I don't think I've said this before, but I really do enjoy this. Clean manages to jam the ether jammer, and everything is getting set for the main cannon to be fired, as all they have to do now is wait for Jin and Holy to escape. We cut back to Holy fighting Cure as she tries to melt him into nothingness, and her attack hits, but then we learn about Cure's ether gear and ability. It's regeneration. Not the most flashiest ability, but a pretty overpowered ability in any form of media with powers, and how he can basically maintain who he is for so long in fighting different types of evil that he creates. You can just regenerate himself if he gets too bad of a hit, and he kind of does a low blow by punching Holy where he shot her with his ether finger as she teeters down to the ground, as he continues to barrage her with punch after punch, continuing to spew his whole nonsensical and, balanced type talk. We must be good, and then we have to create evil so that they can be snuffed out to maintain balance, and we can regenerate the universe. But Holy snickers and says, "Are you done with your speech yet?" as Cure realizes what Holy's been truly after, and that was the power core seat that Cure was initially protecting and sitting on. Holy's attack, Melty Kiss, destroys the throne, and yeah, that shocks Cure and makes him very, very pissed off. And we learn in the exact same chapter as the ether gear reveal that Cure can only regenerate one thing at a time, which means since he regenerated himself, Holy managed to, melt and destroy the power source, so now Cure has to focus on one other thing. And a bunch of cables begin to link onto his entire body as he chants, "I am Cure, I'm Crow, I'm good, I'm evil," as he is fusing with Crow, the villain that he created for his own narratives. And in that moment, Jin bursts in to try and get Holy to leave. Holy looks over and realizes that the power source seems to be relatively the same, but Cure has disappeared, as he did merge with Crow. Now it is confirmed that Holy did destroy the power source, and Crow himself is overheating, so they have to get out of there as soon as possible. Holy is not having any of that, as she wants to find Cure and take him out. She wants to kill him, but Jin grabs her shoulder and kind of snaps her out of it, as he states, "We'll take care of the rest. I'm pretty sure ending your life here with him is not what you wanted." As Holy gives off this look as she understands what Jin is saying, not to throw her life away. And we cut to the outside of Dead End Crow as we see many explosions all over his body. Everything that's been going on, he is overheating, so it's really cool that we're seeing that it's affecting the outside of his body as well and dealing some actual damage. thanks to that one good hit from Holy. So that was honestly really good. We cut back to the Eden Zero crew with Laguna, Clean, and then Hermit and Connor in the Eden Zero. As they're wondering what's going on, the ether being out of control inside of Dead End Crow. And the numbers on Dead End Crow are just off the charts, so they have no idea what they're going to have to do. The main cannon is ready, but they're waiting for Jin and Holy to get out of there, and they manage to escape in the brink of time. However, despite the fact that they managed to escape, the hole leading towards the actual core of Dead End Crow is starting to regenerate. They went inside, dealt a bunch of internal damage, destroyed a good chunk of systems, revealed Cure, and he merged with Dead End Crow, and now he's using his ether gear to regenerate what was destroyed. And even regenerate the whole opening towards the core that was left. And then Dead End Crow / Cure starts using laser eye beams to destroy everything around him. Humans are powerless and they swarm, but they'll never be able to match the Great Crow, the Great Dead End Crow. So Cure just more or less just devolved and became purely Dead End Crow in this situation. So he kind of shed his previous personality and decided to be like, you know what, I'm just going to stick with being Crow right now. This is what I need to be in this situation. I'm just going to destroy everything. But as we all know, erasing is not really his specialty, as Eraser, the god, shows up and says, yo, erasing stuff is my job. As Holy is surprised that Eraser is even there in the first place. They were out fighting all the dragons up in the sky. But Eraser states that Crow is pretty huge, so he doubts he can erase all of them at once. But there is one thing he can do, as he charges up his ether gear and does one erasing slash, opening up towards the core. So now the core is exposed once more, as Feather gets on comms and says that she uploaded the precise trajectory for the cannon through Etherlink. And Hermit's wondering, wait, the Union Army's helping us right now? As Feather's just, please, we have to destroy Crow now. As Crow is charging up one last giant energy blast from his mouth, saying that this is where it all ends, Connor gives the command to fire the giant Starbringer cannon. As I believe this is the first time in the series we've seen the main cannon of the Eden Zero be used, and as Hermit says, for us there are no dead ends, a really badass line. She fires the Starbringer cannon from the Eden Zero right into Dead End Crow's core in a really awesome double page spread. And I'm loving that we're getting more stuff from the Eden Zero, because we have a giant ship that has multiple weapons, and there was just this giant cannon that I don't think's been used. If it's been used before and I don't remember, please let me know in the comments. But this is just amazing. It just shows how strong the Eden Zero as a ship is, and I think we're gonna have to see more in the future. But yeah, it gets hit right through the core. Dead End Crow starts to shatter and explode outward, as we see two panels of Cure getting hit with the blast and seemingly dissipating, being erased as it were, as we get one giant explosion with seemingly nothing left, as everyone is cheering and are relieved that they managed to defeat one of the irrational States Galactica, technically Interstellar also. Holy just says her sister's name and says that her fight is finally over. And let's just say, this part of the group really needs a break right now, because they've been fighting Dead End Crow non-stop since they got to the planet, and they've just been on edge. And Hermit especially is probably just going to pass out for a little bit due to her fight with Killer and nearly literally dying from a virus, and now having to deal with all this stuff. So yeah, this fight is over for now. I'm going to talk a bit about Cure at the end of the video, but for now, the Dead End Crow fight seems to be officially over. I'm glad that Eraser came in with the clutch save, and we got to see the Eden Zero do one massive attack to take out this pretty intimidating force. And we then cut back to the end, surprisingly, of Ziggy versus Shiki, as Ziggy managed to overpower Shiki, hitting him out of overdrive. As Shiki is bloody and beaten up, saying that despite training so hard, he still wasn't even in Ziggy's league. Ziggy just scoffs and says, of course not, as he then breaks Shiki's leg, as he says, why would anyone lose to their past self? Shiki is in pain and can't get up. Ziggy says, this is it, you've reached your dead end. Once again, I mean, this is literally the most said word in this entire chapter, and it is the chapter's title, which I find kind of funny. Shiki can't move, and that is when Pino shows up, stepping in between them, stating not to hurt her master. Shiki is crying out for Pino not to be here. She's not supposed to be here. Ziggy looks at her with the last line of the chapter being Pino stating, "I think this is the moment I was born for," ending the chapter. So Eden Zero Chapter 208 was honestly a really nice action-packed chapter, and we got the conclusion for the Dead End Crow portion, and we still have 2 other major fights to see and look forward to, which is the Ziggy encounter, which is seemingly something that Pino was going to help with. How? I'm not sure. And then we have the Aknoella stuff that we haven't seen in a good while, ever since the Dead End Crow stuff and the Ziggy reveal. We haven't seen anything from Aknoella, so Justice and Elsie, they're kind of an afterthought at this point, and now we need another subplot, so we're gonna have to jump back to you guys. But overall, this chapter, I liked it. I am a little disappointed with Cure as a whole. While I'm glad that Dead End Crow was destroyed and killed, because that was being built up for this whole arc, Cure is still kind of a disappointment. While in the last chapter I said I understand him, I kind of like the reveal to an extent, I do really kind of not like the whole twist reveal of Cure now that I've sat on it and now that I read this chapter as well. It feels like Mashima wanted to make this a grander reveal similar to the Ziggy reveal and the Saint Fire Nox reveal, which were 2 awesome reveals back to back. It's possible that he wanted to build this one up, but as he got up to this point, he figured Cure wouldn't really have too much of a purpose now, so he opted to just kill him off after the big reveal of him being like some kind of like, well, I'm going to draw a comparison to Naruto, a black Zetsu, someone that's been in the background of the universe, kind of manipulating key events and characters this entire time. And while I am not against this type of plot device, this is something that's honestly been done wrong a lot, but having a secret mastermind is a really good idea and can be like a really big what the fuck moment that gets everyone very hyped up for what to see next. But Cure was someone that just needed a bit more build up and had needed everything to be, more satisfying. Dead End Crow was built up really well, but now that we got the whole Cure reveal, it just doesn't feel as satisfying, if I'm being honest. Cure's holy story with her revenge thing is done, seemingly. For all I know, Cure's regeneration ether gear is still incredibly overpowered. You can just regenerate from a little bit if he wasn't completely erased by the Starbringer cannon. Still, I'm happy that the Dead End Crow fight is done, and now everyone can either just relax or go and help everyone else in their fights. Pino showing up at the end, I do kind of think this is going to play into earlier in the arc when Shiki talked to Wizard about Ziggy realizing that he was going to go crazy. Probably a previous personality from the future compared to what's facing right now, and maybe that's why Pino was created in the first place, to fight off this evil persona. But there's not a whole lot to go off of, and next chapter is seemingly going to reveal what Pino has planned for what's going on. Either way, I'm happy with this chapter. We've got a lot of good things. I'm sad that the Ziggy and Shiki fight was kind of cut short. We kind of cut to the end of it. I wish we got at least one more chapter, just purely the fight of these characters, and then Pino showing up. But Mashima definitely has a plan for what's going to happen with this arc, as he did state that up to roughly this point, towards the time skip, and the Ziggy reveal is what he originally had planned out, and I have no idea what else changed along the way. So I'm confident that Mashima is going to finish this arc in a very satisfying manner. Cure was disappointing, but the defeat of the Dead End Crow and the Starburner Cannon was still very epic. A pretty solid chapter. Sad that the Ziggy fight was kind of cut short and kind of cut to the end, but I feel like we're going to get more of it later down the road. And we still got the Aknoella fight to look forward to with Justice and Elsie, I hope, teaming up. I do want to see that. But yeah, overall, pretty decent chapter. Nothing to write home about. It had a lot of good stuff, but some stuff I was disappointed with, primarily with Crow, but that's more or less it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I do want to keep Eden Zero going as much as I possibly can week after week. I'm looking forward to the next chapter, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts and opinions of this chapter in the comments down below. Your thoughts about Cure, the Ziggy fight that seemingly is about to end, how this is all going to conclude, and your theories and thoughts. I do like to interact with you guys in the comments. It's really enlightening, and I could miss some stuff in these chapters that you guys noticed, and it helps me better understand things for future chapters. I love these discussions we have, and it's just something that I really do enjoy. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button to show that you guys want to see more Eden Zero content, as I am really loving Eden Zero and I'm loving talking about it with all of you. Every and all types of interactions really do help. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I hope you all have an awesome day.